Hello, 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 hello. We are back to being live. Just another day. Just trying to see how everything's running right now. Hold up. Just gotta make sure everything's good. Okay, that needs to be changed. Alright. Done. So that's good. That's good. Perfect. Let's see if we're on live on Kick. And yeah, we are. Oh. There you go. That just makes the camera like quality be better. Stuff like that. So just gotta make sure it's actually good. Yeah. Alright, so far everything's good, man. Whew. Alright. Put the headphones on and we're gonna be streaming today. We have a lot of videos to get through today. Very happy about that. For me the majority of things is just trying to find a video to react to, which is actually gonna be interesting to watch, So first we're just going to go ahead and make sure everything's running smooth. Perfect. Alright. Great. One of the things I want to buy is just buy a new set of headphones, because these ones, the plug is just way too small, so it's like right here's the maximum. It does not go like taller than this. Pretty much it just kind of pulls me back. So it's like, oh, so I need to get one with the longer extension, which is, I never thought that was gonna be a problem, but it's always been a problem, man. I don't like it, and I don't know how to fix it, because there's like a plug for it like down the thing, but it's just not long enough to get it for me. But yeah, so yeah, let's go back straight to the video that we're gonna be reacting to, because right now I don't know what I'm gonna be reacting to. The video that we're gonna be reacting to, right now I don't know. All right, let's see. We first gotta find it. We have a lot of options today that I think are gonna be good, and I think we're gonna start with, just to make the our Sunday morning better. Dude, all right. Start recording, and it's gonna be the video.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI create.
You're the worst.
All right. So we're gonna be watching If Your Therapist Was Brutally Honest by AGC Andy.
You're the worst therapist ever. I'm giving you a 0-star review.
Damn, that's crazy.
This is Dr. Victor Blaine, a therapist
right,
with a zero-star rating, which he claims is because he only tells his clients the truth.
I understand why my clients leave low reviews. The truth hurts. If my life was so bad that I had to go to therapy, I wouldn't want to hear the unfiltered truth about it either.
Dr. Blaine has faced immense backlash for his methods. When we asked him if that ever worried him, he said, "Not at all. What are they going to do? Whine to their therapist about it? That's more business for me."
I'm late on my mortgage, and I have no way to feed my kids. I just wanted to tell someone how I'm feeling. The only thing you should be filling is a job application out. I'm $200 for the hour. Why are you here?
When we asked Dr. Blaine how he felt about the hundreds of zero-star reviews he's received, he said, "Each person who left a zero-star review paid me $200 for the hour. The reviews aren't hurting my feelings, and they definitely aren't hurting my pockets."
Yo, that is one thing, like, therapists can be very fucking expensive. So if you're broke, if you have no money, then why are you looking for a therapist? Because I'm pretty sure like most insurance don't cover it. I don't see why an insurance would even cover if like feeling sad, to be honest. I think that would be like pretty stupid if insurance covered it. Unless like you're actually like diagnosed with like, I don't know, depression or something like that. Or if you're a kid, because if you're a kid, that makes sense, because probably the school will like probably pay for it. And probably different options for people to get therapists. But if you like in debt, if you're like negative, like 40K, because there's some people that out there that are like negative in debt and they're still like have their money and they decide to spend on someone to listen to them, a fucking therapist. They have nothing better to do with their money. Like, there's a reason why you're negative 40K.
And when I tried talking to him, he just said, get back in the kitchen.
Well, why weren't you in the kitchen?
You know what? Fuck you. You're a misogynist.
Hey, I am not a misogynist. I don't know why you stupid bitches are always saying stuff like that.
Shortly after filming, Dr. Blaine told us, the unfiltered truth is hard for some girls to swallow, but other girls have no issue swallowing my truth serum. I don't want to know what he meant by that.
Clients come in here all the time and tell me about their feelings, but then get mad when I tell them the truth. Well, get mad all you want, because facts don't care about your feelings, and neither do I.
Dr. Blaine's methods are hated by his clients, but he told us, I don't care. I call it how I see it, and I see a lot of whiny bitches.
And these voices in my head, they just keep telling me I'm a worthless piece of shit.
Damn. I didn't know I was telepathic.
When we asked Dr. Blaine if he ever feels bad about being so blunt, he said, no. Telling people the honest truth is actually pretty therapeutic, and that's what therapy is supposed to be.
It is.
This past year.
I feel like to certain people, if like you're close to them, if you tell them the truth, like they will take it in a good way. I guess mostly men. I feel like mostly men will be able to like actually take the truth and be like, all right, I gotta make a change. So if your friends are all calling you fat because you're 300 pounds when your body weight is supposed to be like the mass of like 170, and you're over 300 pounds, someone will definitely tell you like, yo, bro, you're fat as shit. You gotta change. You gotta stop stuffing your mouth with food. And I feel like they will make a change. But if you say that to a woman, she might block you. She'll never talk to you again.
I've had like 20 guys just use me for my body.
20? Listen, you've put up career numbers this season, but I think it's time to hang up the jersey.
Shortly after this, Dr. Blaine told us, I don't know why she was grinding so hard. They don't have a Hall of Fame for body count.
The truth hurts, so I get low reviews. One time a client came to me and asked me if I could help her find what was causing all the issues in her life. But when I told her to just look in a fucking mirror, another low review.
Dr. Blaine has no issue telling the truth. He said to us, what else am I supposed to do? Be politically correct and tell a client she's not the reason her parents got divorced? Because, spoiler alert, she is.
I get validation from sleeping with guys, and I think that stems back to my childhood trauma.
You know, you're always talking about childhood trauma, but if my daughter had a body count as high as you, I'd have parental trauma. Take some fucking accountability.
Dr. Blaine told us his motto is,
Oh
it's
my
me.
god, I never thought about it like that. That could be like actually going both ways, like parental trauma. I don't know, something your kid did to you that you're traumatized. Yo, that's actually, I don't know if that definitely happens, but just like not a lot, I guess.
Versus the world. Not sure if that's a good motto for a therapist, but okay.
Just when I think work is bad, every single day when I'm leaving, the same dude beats my ass and robs me. And this has been going on for 3 months.
Wait, every day for 3 months? Have you tried just like taking a different way home?
No.
At that point, it's his money. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm starting to understand this whole victim blaming thing, because that is definitely his fucking fault.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to my clients because my grandma always told me, all liars burn in the lake of fire. And I'm colder than a bitch.
Dr. Blaine told us, some people just need to hear the truth about their anxieties. I'd have anxiety too if I was annoying as some of these bitches.
I just feel like anytime I'm talking to someone, they think I'm annoying as fuck.
Wow, you just read my mind.
Damn.
Dr. Blaine said, my mother always told me, tell the truth or someone will tell it for you.
Yo, I feel like therapists, like, definitely there's one of them that someone out there that is just being a therapist and then like their client just confesses them of like mass murder or just like killing somebody, and then like because of their, I don't know, they have like they can't tell anybody. No, that's like priests in like a Catholic church. If you go and confess like your sins, like they say, yo, I just killed 20 people, like I just bombed a school down the road, and I came straight to church to just apologize. They can't say who it was like at all. They can't call they can't like get you from the priest, because that's like according to like Catholic law or something like that. Like they can't get you. So I find that interesting. But But in the case of like therapists, there's definitely somewhere out there that will be hearing just the wildest fucking like stories of like what happened to one person. I feel like they're like the biggest like nosy people, therapists. But that's like their whole career path. You get paid for it.
So I'm here to tell it for these motherfuckers.
Losing my toddler was hard. I'm just not the same anymore. I don't know what to do.
Have you tried growing a damn backbone? It's been 6 years, you fucking drama queen. You could have had a new one by now.
Saying that was wrong on a personal level,
Yeah,
but on a
wrong.
technical level, he's not wrong.
During one session,
Yeah,
I just put an
technically, you're not
AirPod
wrong.
in and let my client rant while I just sat there, and I got a higher review. These bitches don't want to improve. They just want to trauma dump.
Dr. Blaine's methods are controversial, but he told us
Yo, that is. I think that's the majority of people that go to therapy. They just want to trauma dump somebody, and then just get like the everything will be okay, like everything thumbs up from the therapist. Just try to work it out, like figure yourself out, some bullshit like that. But this doctor is pretty.
my job is to help
truthful.
my clients improve, not to make them feel better. That's what booze is for.
I'm just losing hope. My dog died. My boyfriend died.
And I'm about to die of boredom. Jesus Christ, bitch, can we change the subject?
Dr. Blaine told us he watched Pinocchio religiously as a child. He said, funny how watching a cartoon about a puppet trying to turn into a real boy turned me into the realest motherfucker you'll ever meet.
Life just hasn't been the same since Dad died. And I don't know what to do.
Have you tried getting over it? It's been 9 years, you fucking crybaby.
When we asked Dr. Blaine why he would say something like that, he said, I don't deal with crybabies. I'm a therapist, not a babysitter.
My work is easy because I use
No.
ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need.
I'm asking people their biggest.
Oh shit. That was it. Alright, well, that was an amazing video first of all, and I really enjoyed it. That shit was funny as hell. Alright, now let's get to our next video. So we're gonna be watching I Asked Ages 1 through 100 Their Biggest Regret by Ryan Mitchell too.
Biggest regrets, from those with zero responsibilities and life experience to some who have been alive for over a century. But first, what does a 1-year-old regret? What's your biggest regrets? Oh, he's taking up the mic for this one. What's your biggest regrets?
Age 2.
I didn't mean to come off that strong.
Do you wish you didn't pee on the floor?
I haven't went here in a while. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, at school I did do a funny joke. There's chickens and I threw a rock at one.
You threw a rock at a chicken?
At school too.
You're on demon mode.
I am 7 years old
rock at a
and my
chicken.
biggest regret is not listening to my mom.
Yeah, okay. You gotta have something.
No
regrets.
No
Nice.
regrets.
Probably existing. I don't want to be here.
What the fuck, yo? That was a dark turn from 8 to 9 for that girl. What the fuck?
Ages 1 to 10 were actually kind of concerning, but now the next ages are going to school and may learn and face more consequences to their actions.
One time I yelled at my mom and she didn't talk to me for a very long time.
I think I wasted too much money on some games.
Going on zero gravity today.
Why?
Because my head feels like it's going to pop off.
I don't know.
I have a lot, but I don't know if I remember all of them.
Caring what other people think.
Biggest regret, not going to private school sooner. I guess it's like
I mean, why? What is the difference between private school, regardless? Like, how different can like being on private school be for these people? That your biggest regret is not going to private school. I feel like there's more heads in public school, regardless. I feel like the people are fun. I mean, I guess in a way, I'm guessing if you go to private school, there's people with money, I guess.
the academics are like so much better than the kids that I get to hang out with now. I'm very blessed to hang out with the kids that I hang out with, so.
Moving here, I don't know. I've let a lot of people like walk over me and just being too like shy and just not like expressing myself enough, I guess.
Not doing as well in middle school.
Getting back with my ex when I was like 17 years old.
What do you do?
They like basically cheated on me.
Despite being
I mean, that was kind of on you. And also, the guy, his biggest regret is not doing well in middle school. Why the fuck? Why is that a thing with you? Like, It's like the grades in high school what matter the most. Like, what do you care about? Like middle school, if anything. You're already 18. You already pretty much graduated.
Teenagers, the answers have gone a little more serious, but what regrets could result from what some call the best time of a person's life? What's your biggest regret?
Not researching the college I went to school. I didn't like look at the Reddit.
Not having the confidence to do the
You
things
get
I
Reddit
wanted
for
to
college?
do. Like holding yourself back. Because I feel like you could do so much more, but you're like, I'm so anxious and scared.
Biggest regret? I don't know, probably crashing my car into the side of a highway.
Okay.
Biggest regret? Downloading Tinder. I met a guy on there and he really f***ed me up.
Getting to that age.
I mean, if you're going for, I mean, where else can you go meet people? Like after the age of like 20, the girl was 23. After that age, where can you meet people? Because it's not in college anymore. You're pretty much already graduated. Or some people are still in college, but I feel like dating apps are just for like people that are like already out of college. From my personal opinion, that's what I think. But like you're in college, there's no way. There's not really a reason why you should have like Tinder or like Hinge or anything like that. Not yet, at least.
You know?
Yeah. We'll say not finishing college.
How long did you go there for?
Like 2 years.
Why'd you leave?
Because I had a offense and I lost all my financial aid.
I would have to say...
All right, but that was not because he wanted to. This guy just straight up had a drug offense, so it's kind of different. He's kind of forced. Because I wouldn't want to go like 40, 50K with that. Depending on what school this guy went to, but this guy looks like he's in Central Park, so I'm guessing he went to like NYU or some school like that, or anything like New York and like the city parts of it. They're pretty expensive. Stuff like a CUNY school, but that's different.
Not speaking up for myself. I very much was a pushover for a lot of my life, and it just kind of got me in a lot of situations that I didn't want to be in.
Not taking a leap of faith when I wanted to.
My biggest regret is not coming to America sooner.
I don't think I have one, because I learned from everything that I went through. And after the dust settles and you reflect, you're like, it was important I went through that.
My biggest regret? Dyeing my hair red.
Well, I guess the fun is over now, but let's see what people in their 30s regrets now entering a life of independence and responsibility.
I mean, if I was choosing a career path again, I would probably choose something different.
Should have been writing earlier.
Biggest regret, not having him sooner.
Maybe not finishing college.
Why do you leave?
I had a baby.
What's your biggest regret?
Drinking too much.
No regrets tattooed on me.
Oh my god.
No, I don't regret anything actually.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power. Not IT, not admin.
Being afraid of stuff, you're like afraid to make changes in your life.
Not finishing school early.
What's your biggest regret?
None.
No regrets?
Nah. Yeah, everything been a lesson thus far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gotta live through it.
Yo, I like that there's some people that like have no regrets, or if they have, they definitely have regrets, but like they look at it in a positive way where if they have any regret, it's just like part of like their experience of growing up, so they like embrace it. So I like that. That's like very peaceful in a way.
Even though there have been some prominent regrets so far, once you enter your 40s, you become at risk of a midlife crisis.
I don't think I can say that on video. Having kids.
What? Kids.
Doing too many drugs.
Oh damn.
That scared me. Doing too many.
There's many.
Many? Too many to just name one?
Probably. Stay young, guys.
Probably the way I raised kids early on.
Well, not moving in love earlier in my life. Moving out of fear more than moving out of love.
Right, so you wish you had just done the things you're passionate about?
Or just moving in love, period. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have done that more than anything.
What does that mean?
Because I was living in fear, and it caused me to make a lot of bad decisions in my life and perceive things in a different way than I would if I was moving out of love.
You know, life is short, and there's people in our lives. You know, you want to let the small things go and just continue to forgive and love.
Not getting into working for nonprofit earlier. I worked in television for 15 years.
Right.
And never felt good about it.
I don't have regrets.
Not living in New York City long enough. My biggest regret was not going overseas when I was in college.
Not moving abroad for my master's degree.
By now, your earlier life...
I feel like that's a good experience that if you had to experience if you were in college. That's one of the things I want to do. I want to like end up doing a study abroad program somewhere. I don't care where it is. I just want to like study abroad. Somewhere in Europe. Not somewhere like Central America, because that's probably not going to end well, but I think there's like some countries like Prague, Czech Republic, Italy, Spain. I would love to go to Spain because I'm trying to live there.
decisions would have led you to your life at 50, which was starting to get me some much more deep answers.
My biggest regret was not dating. I never got married, and I got beautiful children, but it's like you can make children and not reproduce.
Not taking my...
What the? You can have children but not reproduce. What the fuck does that mean? Buddy, you already reproduced. But I guess dating could be a regret, not going out enough.
Time. I rushed through high school. I rushed through college. I'm a news journalist, so I rushed into a career. I would have taken it a little slower, taken my time. After college, I would have traveled Europe for a year and then started my career.
What's your biggest regret?
This interview.
How old are you?
It's too late, Meg. Not joining the NBA.
Not joining the NBA. Were you good at basketball?
I'm 6'7". What do you think?
6'7".
Beer or alcohol before the interview I failed.
Oh, like a job interview.
Yeah, job interview.
Hey, you learned from it.
I don't have any regrets at the moment.
I don't know if I have a regret.
Not traveling around the world earlier in life.
Well, I should have maybe stayed in college when I was in, but I'm made up for it.
What do you do to make up for it?
I became an investor.
Got any investments that you...
Out of the ashes rises the phoenix.
Okay,
yeah.
So buy the dip. After possibly partying, working, and caring for children for the last 60 years, most people will have retired and now have a lot of time to think about their past life choices and decisions.
Dealing with the wrong people and getting out, like when you feel like you should get out, but you don't because you think that it'll change.
Like a relationship, you mean?
Yeah, a relationship.
Not painting because I had to raise kids.
No, I didn't go to university, but I should have.
My biggest regret is that my mother, when I applied for university, checked the box accountant instead of architect.
My biggest regret that how it's gonna be your future.
Oh, okay. So you think I'm gonna get into trouble? Or just our generation?
I hope not.
Don't worry about me.
Study something that would have given me a bigger opportunity in life.
Not seeing David Bowie in Berlin in 1977.
I don't have regrets.
Don't have any regrets.
69. Not spending more time with the kids when they were growing up.
Now at 70 years old, most people's path has been set. Anything they could have done, they likely can't do anymore, which could lead to some strong reflections.
70.
What's your biggest regret?
I didn't do a lot of things while I was young.
Anything specific?
He didn't become a billionaire.
Yeah, that's one of them, right?
I don't have any. Yes, I would change some of the ways that I raised my kids.
This is only my third time in New York.
None.
Not doing more crazy things when I was younger. I did crazy things, but not enough.
And you're not doing as much crazy things nowadays?
You don't have the energy.
What age do you think you stop feeling that energy at?
75.
75?
That's right.
Just like hits you like a wall.
You hit it exactly.
I'm almost there.
I didn't take better care of my teeth.
I have things that I regret, but then I forgave them. So I don't feel like I have things to forgive.
I have to say, I don't have regrets.
None?
I see them as learning experiences.
Right.
That I did not become a teacher.
Now beating the average life expectancy, what would someone who's been alive for 80 years do differently or regret from their entire life?
I look back and things look much sweeter than they did then. I don't want to regret. I don't want to feel bad about all the bad things I did.
I regret not having children.
Right. Was there a reason you didn't have them at the time? Or?
Get married.
Dude, that is a pretty big regret. If you ended up not having kids and you never got married, that is a big regret. That will only hit you like once you're like on your late like 70s, 80s, 90s, because essentially you will have no one looking out for you. Like you will have absolutely nobody that will like come to check up on you. And I had a family member that was like that, and he pretty much got left in a what's it called, a retirement home, the assisted living home, something like that. And dude, no one went to visit him until the day that he died. There was like not one single visit like this last 7 years that he was alive. They only checked on him maybe a few times. And I'm pretty sure that was like for inheritance. So I feel pretty bad for that guy. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest regrets that a human can have. Just not finding love or having or not finding someone to like spend the rest of your life with. Because eventually all your friends are going to die. And you know, there's risk, like the person that you married, they might die as well, but at least you had like memories to look back upon. So that woman never got married, never had kids. So I don't know what she did most of her 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, but that is such a horrible way to live, in my opinion. No, oh my god, I skipped it all the way back.
I couldn't play shortstop for the New York Yankees.
That I didn't travel. I have none.
None?
None.
I was an officer in the Marine Corps. That was really a wonderful experience, and I finished up after my 3-year commitment. I should have stayed in.
I can't really think of what it might be. Yeah, I think when you're younger, you expect a lot more from yourself. You're more critical of yourself. I think as you get older, you kind of take it easier on yourself.
I don't have one.
I don't really have anything that I regret.
That would be mine.
Despite living for almost a century, most people started to become more content with the decisions they've made, and I was more than curious to hear the biggest regrets from the small few living over 90 years old.
I'm sorry I got married so young, got married at 18. That was a big regret. So got divorced and had 2 children to raise by myself.
My biggest regret, I guess, would be when I went to college and I didn't pay attention.
My biggest regrets were probably because I didn't explain to the children about my life until they got older.
Not really. Life is not easy. Life is what you make it.
What's your biggest regret?
It takes a lot of thought because I don't think I have one.
I don't think I would either. Now that I think about it, choose what you want to do and work appropriately to get it.
And you'll have no regrets that way. Almost everyone with the most life experience said they had the least regrets, an outcome I never expected.
I can't think of anything right now.
Biggest regret is not continuing my education. I went as far as high school.
I can't think of anything right now that I say, oh, I wish I had done and I had never done. No regrets.
I got no regrets.
No regrets?
I got no regrets.
You guys are
whatsoever.
100.
My greatest responsibility right now is to be a good example of faith. Help them whenever you can. Always be truthful and honest, and you'll never have any regrets.
Dude, I find it crazy that there's people that live up to 100. Because right now, I'm currently 20, right? I'm 20. So that means that the guy that lived 100, he lived pretty much 4 more times my lifetime. So 80 years more than me. And I mean, I really wouldn't count it living. You're pretty much not living from 1 to 5 years old, because you have no memory of it. You cannot recollect the memory of like 1 through 4, 5, your first year. You have no memory of that. So those 5 years they just go past. But then from like 5 to 20, they're all different experiences. Like every year is just a completely different experience. Like this year I moved out by myself. Last year I was able to get like a job, first years of college, stuff like that. Going out, like parties, stuff like that. Trying out new things, trying out like new hobbies. But it's all different experiences. So I like that throughout life you will always have a different experience that you can have it as unique as your own, because you pretty much make it. It's really up to you to make those decisions. So I love that part about life. That's really up to you, because if you ask the same questions to like the different ages from 1 to 100, they probably would give you a different answer. But yeah, this was an interesting video to look at. Alright. Now, let's watch our next video.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
it's a...
Alright, so... we're going to be watching Nobody Wants to Work Anymore by How Money Works.
Classic gripe of out-of-touch corporate executives hiring minimum wage workers, or the trust fund baby who is angry that their gym is busy in the middle of the day. Nobody wants to work anymore. Now, I really hate to say this, but by looking at the numbers, they might have a point. Labor force participation is approaching generational lows even after the pandemic, while labor force participation amongst men specifically is the lowest it has ever been. These declines have been happening at the same time that unemployment is theoretically quite low, which, if the economists are to be believed, means it should be easy for people who want to get a job, right? Well, not quite. And these numbers are confusing at best, or downright misleading at worst.
Is people just don't want to go to work.
There was a poll I read a long time ago. Only like 18% of Americans feel engaged when they're at work.
I hate my job!
The signs are everywhere.
Fuck
Businesses, especially restaurants, need employees and they need them
Dude,
now.
less than 20% of the country likes their fucking job.
Okay, so there are
Less than
two general
18.
schools that people fall into when they see that nobody wants to work anymore. The first group are wealthy executives, business owners, or just people who have always worked incredibly hard who don't like that jobs are going unfilled. So they blame it on lazy young people who would rather sit around all day smoking cones and watching skibbity toilets. The second school of thought agrees that yes, people don't want to work. They don't want to work demeaning jobs where they won't get paid enough to support a decent quality of life.
I mean, yeah,
it's
I
nice when
wouldn't
two
want that
groups
either.
who are so different can agree on something. So really, the only thing left is to work out why people don't want to work. Now, in most cases, the jobs that nobody wants to work fall into one of three categories. The first are jobs that are just paying well below market rates given the experience or the location required. Businesses aren't going to...
Dude, that's pretty true. If you, let's say you went to 4 years of college, right? You're straight out of it. And an entry job position, when you're straight out of, I don't know, a pretty good school. Let's say you're out of a pretty good school, but you need an entry position for your job. If you're getting paid like at $17 an hour, when you have many bills to pay and you're pretty much just getting started out of like putting your foot out the door and then just getting into the industry, if you're getting paid at $17 an hour, paying back your student loans and stuff like that. Some people might not have it, but let's just say the people that do have it, that will not be enough. You will pretty much be broke until 10 years down the line when you are already past that entry-level position. So I would not feel happy if I was working for $17 an hour, knowing that I have like a master's degree or something like that, or like a undergraduate, but still have like $50K in debt where I have to pay it every month after I graduate. Like that's pretty stressful.
be able to fill a full-stack senior development role in Silicon Valley for $50,000 a year plus equity in their questionable pre-seed startup. But there are still plenty that try. Even entry-level jobs that pay minimum wage in very high cost of living areas are going to be much harder to fill in a city where even finance bros are living in shared housing. Now, hot take alert, but just like there are no shortage of crappy businesses and managers that expect to pay workers nothing for world-class skills and experience, there are lots of workers who expect world-class pay with little or no marketable expertise.
Yeah.
One of the most insightful pieces of data on this issue is this recent survey right here. It asked a selection of Americans what they considered to be the minimum salary they would need to be financially successful. Now, most of the responses to these numbers have been laughing at the Gen Zs just entering the workforce who think that almost $600,000 a year is a realistic salary goal. Because for most people, it just isn't. Unless you are in a few...
Dude, if that's what actually Gen Z believes, then we're pretty much fucked. Because very, very few jobs pay $600,000 a year. I can't think of probably maybe doctors, lawyers, that's it. Like, engineers. Probably that's pretty much it for whoever pays $600,000. I can't imagine a school counselor getting paid that much. And if they do, like, you shouldn't be getting paid that much either. So yeah, Gen Z is like pretty unrealistic now.
Very specific career paths, there are basically no jobs that pay this money. And even then, you need an insane amount of luck to get those opportunities. Now, you can blame this on young people who don't really know how the world works yet, or social media that makes it look like every hustle bro is flying private. But it's all distracting from a more interesting data point. The average boomer thinks financial success is achieved with a salary of just under $100,000.
Back in
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is still almost double the median national salary. But in most major cities where people can actually find jobs that pay this much, $100,000 certainly doesn't afford a lifestyle of financial success. There is simply a massive gap in expectations between the generations looking for their first jobs and the group responsible for giving out most of the jobs. So they both agree that nobody wants to work, just for different reasons. The second type of job that nobody wants to work are in workplaces that push their staff, demand unreasonable overtime, or have management that are needlessly abusive. This happens in a shocking amount of businesses across the country. And even if you are lucky enough to avoid a boss that thinks shouting is an effective motivation tool, you have probably worked some overtime out of fear of losing your job or being reprimanded. According to a 2023 workplace survey, the average full-time worker across the country studied is now putting in an average of 9.2 hours of unpaid overtime. These jobs often don't have much trouble finding people to start, but they do struggle with high staff turnover. The third are simply jobs that never actually existed. You probably all know about ghost jobs by now.
God
but
damn,
even
this guy, holy shit.
that never actually existed. You probably all know
This guy's not real. Look at his fucking face. He has so much like foundation on his head, it doesn't even match his neck.
about ghost jobs by now. But even if you really do want to work, there is a good chance that most of your applications are just going to build out a workforce database, not to actually be considered for employment. Now, whatever the specific reason, the results are the same. Less people end up working. But aside from settling some beef between entitled Zoomers and some out-of-touch boomers, this data all reveals something more concerning about work in the current economy. It's not that people don't want to work anymore. They simply can't afford to. So it's time to learn how money works to find out what's really behind the worst phrase in the workplace. This week's video is sponsored by MyHeritage. Record source own folder.
Zorro.com knows that every job is important. It takes a lot to run a business. And
because they couldn't hire someone with 20 years of experience on a programming language that has only been out for 5 years for $15 an hour. There are also people who don't want to work because
idiotic.
they think
20 years of experience of something that came out like 5 years ago. Like an AI fucking, I don't know, machine. Like AI expert of like code and building. They want him to have 20 years experience to be fucking hired for minimum wage. That is unrealistic and retarded, but someone might take it because they need a fucking job.
Unless they are offered 6 figures in their first roll out of high school, it's not worth their time, and they would be better off sitting at home working on their NFT dropshipping business. Both of these groups definitely exist in shockingly large numbers, but even though it's really fun to make fun of both sides, it distracts from the much more important reason why labor force participation is getting worse. Well, as you might have been able to guess, this trend is really being driven by specific age groups and specific locations. If you look at labor force participation and exclude the youngest
Hold up. Oh, okay. I thought I wasn't recording for a second. Sorry.
generation of workers and the oldest generation of workers, it's actually approaching all-time highs, which really makes sense when you think about it. It's common for both men and women to work full-time these days, and for most households, it's simply a financial necessity. So yeah, even if people don't want to work anymore, they kind of are stuck doing it anyway. The reason labor force participation has fallen off in general, though, is because the average is being dragged down by a lot of young workers and old workers. The old workers are the easiest to explain. As people started living longer, retirement ages were pushed back, and more of the population began working in non-physical jobs. As a result, a larger share of the population over 55 remained in the workforce. This has started to reverse though, as self-funded retirement systems and general asset prices have allowed a lot of over 55s to step back from the labor force, especially after COVID, as a lot of people received severance packages and decided that an early retirement was better than going back to the office. Labor force participation from young people just entering the workforce either out of high school or college is also pulling down the average, just for different reasons. More people than ever are getting a college degree, which means they are starting to work later, and fewer people are working part-time jobs while they study because for many, it's simply not worth it given how much debt they are going to be in when they graduate anyway. This might not also be a shock to you, but it's getting really damn hard to find a job out of college. A few months ago, a post from a professor at Berkeley made the rounds after it spoke about his top students from a top college struggling to find work in technology, an industry that was hiring highly intelligent graduates like this as fast as they could make them just 24 months ago. Previously, a Berkeley CS graduate, even if not a top student, would receive multiple appealing job offers in terms of work type, location, salary, and employer. However, outstanding students, like those with a 4.0 in major GPA, are now contacting me worried because they have zero offers. I suspect this trend is irreversible and likely part of the broader trend impacting almost every employment sector. It's pretty grim stuff coming out of one of the best schools in the country. It might not be the most logical thing to do, but a common reaction from people who can't land a job with a degree they got to make them more employable is to just go get another degree. The rate of master's and PhD recipients has grown even faster than people getting an undergraduate degree, because that's now normal to stand out in a highly competitive job market.
Yeah, dude, I think the whole point of a degree back then was there was like very few people who knew how to do the job. That's why they paid that much. That's why it was like always like believed that for you to have a good job, you had to have a degree. But now, in a place where half of the nation has a fucking undergraduate, the same as you, it becomes a lot harder because then it doesn't become about like where school you went to. It becomes about who do you know. And if you're a person who just went to get a degree and didn't make any fucking connections, you're pretty much going out to the job market just with fingers crossed that someone hired you. Like, you need to have connections, and I think that's what most people like look for nowadays. Even as someone who hires people, that's pretty much what you're looking for, just someone that you already know or someone that can like refer you to someone. Or else you're pretty much not getting a job. It's pretty hard to get a job nowadays, even outside of that college of California, like Berkeley. Like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people will have struggles finding those type of jobs, but it's mainly because it's just like so common now that it's not really much about your degree anymore. It's about how well can you do the job. But yeah.
And to be honest, it's a nice way for people to avoid the reality of the job market for another few years. Spending another 2 to 8 years at college to get advanced degrees means people aren't in the labor force, which pulls down the average to look worse than it really is. So those are the ages that are perpetuating this dumb myth. But this trend is also highly dependent on location. And to see that, you need to go to the place where apparently the absolute least amount of people want to work.
Where is this? West Virginia?
Yes. The Rust Belt state has the lowest labor force participation in the country, but also some of the most unusual statistical anomalies. The state is quite poor after its major industries like coal mining and manufacturing were either outsourced or simply fell out of widespread use. This means that a lot of areas have effectively been left behind with no major employment opportunities, meaning that labor force participation is much lower than the national average. But strangely, in some areas, the participation rate is much higher than what would be expected. A recent study conducted by economists from Hamline University, Cornell, and Virginia Tech found that depending on the county, labor force participation in West Virginia ranges from 42% to 77%, a gap between regions of 35%, while the average across the US states is just 17%, less than half of West Virginia. It's not unusual that cities and working towns will have higher labor force participation than other areas, because people often specifically move to these locations just to get work. But this variance was startling and uncovered a bigger national trend. The people in areas that still had work can't afford not to work, and the people in areas with no work couldn't afford to move to areas with work since it could mean giving up family support networks or simply paying for the cost to relocate housing. A lot of people who had the financial means have already moved out of the state, only making this problem worse, as they take business opportunities and money away with them. It's a dense read because it's an academic paper. It's for nerds. But if you ever feel compelled to say that nobody wants to work anymore, I definitely suggest you have a look at it. The report itself also looks at welfare issues specific to West Virginia. But just because the state is experiencing this problem the worst doesn't mean that it's in any way just something hurting them. The trend of a few concentrated cities doing extremely well while everywhere else stagnates can make nationwide figures look good. But it also means people who want to work have an option of trying their luck for one of the few jobs left in areas with fewer opportunities, or living in an extremely expensive city to compete with everybody else fighting over a spot in the few places left where people can reliably get ahead. Finance and tech have become one of the last escape ropes for people to make a deal with the devil to get out of these areas with little to no opportunities. And I am going to be writing an article about how even that career path is becoming impossible in my completely free email newsletter. So sign up if you are interested in reading that and other articles that will never be made into videos here. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to MyHeritage for making this video possible.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how the fuck I'm gonna get a job after college. For me, like right now, it's just fucking just stream, just finger crossed, just stream, and hopefully something happens. But if this shit doesn't work out, then just fingers crossed you get a fucking job outside of the job market after getting out. Because dude, my degree is like for people that want to start business. In my most humble opinion, the degree that I'm pursuing is like business management. For me to have like my own business, and I know what kind of business I want to have, but for other people, if you're looking for business management as a fucking degree, or like as a way for you to get a job, go into accounting. Accounting, you will always be fucking needed. Finance, I don't know about finance that much. or economics. I don't know who hires that much, but for accounting, that is just a guaranteed. That's a guaranteed job that you will get. Someone's gonna fucking hire you because every business needs it. Absolutely every fucking business needs an accountant or a tax accountant by the end of the year. So that is just a 100% safe. But I'm going for business management just because I like the idea of management. And just because I want to have a degree. Just mostly for my parents, but it doesn't matter. Amazing video. Next video. Alright. Nobody wants to work anymore. That's a lie. And this will be our last video for the day. Just because.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity.
Wait. Alright. So we're going to be watching The Insane Evolution of Spiders by Animated Earth.
Spiders are some of the most diverse and unique predators on Earth. Yeah. Over 50,000 species of spiders live on our planet today, from big and hairy tarantulas to sleek, deadly widows. Coming in all shapes and sizes, they inhabit nearly every terrestrial ecosystem on the planet, hiding in nooks and crannies, living in burrows, or hanging from elaborate webs of silk. But these unique animals weren't always as abundant and sophisticated as they are today. The evolution of spiders began during the Devonian period, around 380 million years ago. In the primitive forests and swamps of what is now North America, there lived a tiny, spider-like arachnid named Attocoppus. Crawling along the forest floor, this creature likely fed on other early arthropods, such as springtails and mites. Attocoppus is one of the oldest known examples of a proto-spider, formerly belonging to the extinct order Urarinaida. It possessed silk-producing spigots connected to glands in their abdomen, representing one of the earliest known examples of silk production in arachnid evolution.
Oh, damn.
Attocoppus likely produced protein-based silk in a manner similar to modern spiders, but more primitive, resulting in shapeless mats rather than the precise strands we associate with spiders today. It's unlikely that Attocoppus constructed webs. Rather, it used its silk to protect its eggs and reinforce the walls of its burrow. Despite some similarities to modern spiders, Attocoppus did not have a fully developed spinneret, so it wasn't technically a spider. The first spiders did not walk the earth until the late Carboniferous period. One of the earliest groups of spiders, called Mesotheli, emerged in what is now Europe and North America over 300 million years ago, in ancient forests full of ferns and club mosses. We know more about these primitive spiders because, despite their ancient origins, Mesotheli are still alive today. Over 100 species of Mesotheli live in forested regions of Southeast Asia, China, and Japan, providing modern scientists with an extraordinary window into the chronology of spider evolution. Before spiders ever constructed webs to snare flying insects, Mesotheli used grounded burrows to ambush their prey. These burrows had special trapdoors that were lined with sensitive strands of silk. Whenever an insect touched one of those strands, the vibrations alerted the spider to burst from its hiding place and claim its dinner. Passive hunting strategies like these gave primitive spiders a significant advantage.
Dude, that's scary, because imagine you walk, this little fella's still alive, so if you're just walking down on the road, not the road, but let's say you're like, you want to be, so let's just say that you want to be adventurous and you go to the jungle. You go to Australia where these fucking massive creatures live, and you just accidentally step on it, you'll have a spider attack your foot, thinking it's some type of insect.
While other predators wasted energy catching agile insects, Mesotheli conserved their energy until the perfect moment to strike. In Mesotheli, we see ancient hunting behaviors, as well as anatomical developments that define modern spiders, like venom. Today, most spiders have venom glands connected to their chelicerae, the appendages that hold their fangs. This venom can then be injected into their prey, coming out through a narrow hole near the tip of their fangs. Early species of Mesotheli may have used similar venom to incapacitate their prey, making it easier to kill bigger targets and drag their bodies underground. But this venom serves a dual purpose. For spiders, venom is a weapon as well as a digestive aid. Spiders cannot consume larger chunks of solid food, So they use special enzymes in their venom, as well as digestive fluids from the gut, to liquefy their prey's bodies. This process, known as extraoral digestion, allows spiders to pre-digest their food before sucking down the liquefied remains.
That's fucking... I don't know how that works. Like, it's venomous for like the other insects, but it's not for them, because they eat the same fucking venom. Like, they can eat fucking venom and not be affected by it. But it's still poisonous. Well, venomous, I guess. So I don't know how the fuck that works. Like, it's in your body, but like, it's in a special gland that doesn't come out like the rest of your body. So this shit makes no sense. How the fuck are they alive? How does this shit work? Cause I'm guessing if they eat it, it's just gonna taste like bad. Cause yeah, it should still taste pretty fucking bad, like whatever they eat, due to their venom. But it also helps them digest it. Like, I don't know how the fuck this works. Spiders are creepy.
As far as we know, Mesotheli were the only genuine spiders during the Carboniferous and Permian periods. But in the years to follow, a cascade of environmental challenges shook up the world's ecosystems, challenging species to adapt and change. The greatest of these challenges came at the end of the Permian period, when a mass extinction event nearly eradicated all life on Earth. This event, known as the Permian-Triassic, or PT extinction, annihilated 81% of marine species and about 70% of terrestrial vertebrates.
Oh, shit.
Even some groups of insects, which are typically more resistant to extinction, suffered dramatically. In the wake of this extinction event, new ecosystems developed around the world, dominated by opportunistic animals such as Lystrosaurus and Proterosuchus. In these ecosystems, spiders filled a variety of niches, making their unique predatory mark. Gradually, spiders in different regions became more specialized, leading to the emergence of new species, including the ancestors of modern-day tarantulas and funnel web spiders. This group of spiders, called mygalomorphs, are known for their strong legs, large bodies, and downward-pointing fangs. Like Mesotheli, they don't build elaborate webs to catch flying prey. Instead, most mygalomorphs hunt from burrows, building traps and waiting for small animals to stumble into their clutches. While the majority are ambush predators, some mygalomorphs, like tarantulas, are more active hunters, leaving their burrows and using their size and strength to overpower unsuspecting prey.
This game, you're not ready for.
As the Triassic period progressed, the last and most diverse group of spiders emerged on our planet. Known as Araneomorphs, these remarkable spiders have fully developed spinnerets as well as pincer-like fangs that point diagonally instead of straight down. Compared to mygalomorphs, Araneomorphs rely less on their size or strength to overpower their targets. Instead, Araneomorphs developed highly specialized venom that disrupts their prey's nervous system, often causing paralysis or death. With their different anatomical strengths, Araneomorphs and mygalomorphs were both effective insectivores during the Jurassic period. We think of this as the age of huge and ferocious dinosaurs, but in the shadows of these giant reptiles, spiders were quietly evolving into highly sophisticated invertebrates. However, it wasn't until the late Jurassic, and then more commonly in the early Cretaceous, that Araneomorphs made their greatest evolutionary leap, constructing the very first complex spiderwebs. Spiders likely started building complex webs in response to the rapid expansion of flying insects. In the animal kingdom, it's common for predators and prey to evolve side by side. As one group advances, the other group evolves to keep up, driving both species to adapt and innovate. Cretaceous insects were developing more sophisticated wings and better defense mechanisms, making them more resistant to slow, ground-dwelling predators. So spiders adapted by building their webs up in the forest canopy, where insects often flew into their silky traps. With the innovation of complex webs, Araneomorphs exploited a wider range of niches during the Cretaceous period. Web-building species began adapting the sizes and shapes of their webs to suit different ecosystems and capture different types of prey. The first orb weavers constructed wide geometric webs, which hung in the openings between trees. These webs were designed to intercept the flight paths of insects like beetles, wasps, and flies, which often flew unaware into their sticky traps. Tangleweb spiders, which include modern species like black widows, filled a different niche. These spiders built their messy, irregular webs among grasses and thick brush, where they preyed upon.
Yo, do we have those like massive spiders here in like the U.S.? I hope not. There's definitely in some mountains, but I don't think I've heard of like the massive ones where like the size of your palm, like big tarantulas. But they're just that big. I don't think I've seen them in the U.S. or at least from my area.
On crawling insects
Mostly
like ants
Australia.
and other arachnids. Fossils preserved in amber reveal that many Cretaceous spiders were remarkably similar to their modern counterparts. But before they reached the modern era, these spiders would have to overcome yet another life-threatening challenge. At the end of the Mesozoic era, another mass extinction event, called the Cretaceous-Paleogene, or KPG extinction, annihilated 75% of plant and animal species, including all non-avian dinosaurs. The impact of this event was nothing short of catastrophic, yet spiders emerged relatively unscathed. In fact, after the KPG extinction, Araneomorphs entered a period of tremendous diversity and specialization. As the Cenozoic era began, flowering plants were taking over the world's ecosystems, co-evolving with flying pollinators like bees, butterflies, and beetles. As these populations skyrocketed, spiders adapted new hunting strategies, evolving tricks like camouflage to capture specific kinds of prey. Crab spiders, for example, use their colorful bodies to blend into the petals of flowers, where they wait to ambush unsuspecting pollinators.
That's a thing?
Another
Yo, that's creepy as hell, because that means that you can fucking just go out to like a sunflower, and then a fucking tiny spider that can just be camouflaged there, waiting for you to just take a sniff at it and just attack at you. What the fuck is this?
the bowler spider, which emits pheromones that closely mimic the scent of female moths.
Ugh.
These pheromones attract male moths, who follow the scent, thinking they are about to find a mate, only to fly into the bowler spider's trap. Many more extraordinary spiders cropped up during the Cenozoic era. Even though they can't fly, spiders developed unique tricks for spreading their lineages far and wide. For example, dwarf spiders and many other species use a dispersal method called ballooning to travel long distances and across bodies of water. Like a balloon at the end of a string, they hang onto loose strands of silk as they're carried away by the wind, sometimes traveling hundreds of kilometers before settling in a faraway land.
Oh, shit,
Despite living
nice.
almost everywhere
That's
on the
kinda cool.
planet, recent years have not been as kind to some populations of spiders. Human activity has taken a toll on many of the most sensitive species. For example, a 2020 study in Switzerland found that populations of the European garden spider had dropped to less than 1% of historical levels for the region.
Yeah, good.
Deforestation has
Fuck
also
them.
destroyed common spider habitats, like rainforests and woodlands, while pesticides have killed many of the insects that spiders normally eat. Nevertheless, many spiders have found ways to survive in human-modified landscapes. In fact, some species are well adapted to urban environments and rarely live anywhere else. The American house spider, for example, from the genus Parasteatoda, lives mostly in the corners of human homes, barns, and sheds, weaving messy cobwebs and feeding on common residential pests, including flies, ants, and smaller cockroaches. Some orb weavers also build their webs around artificial light.
Why do spiders feel the need of going to the fucking corner of their room in the house? Because that makes absolutely no sense to me. Because there's absolutely no bugs that are going to be here. In most houses, at least. They're not going to have any like bugs for a while. They're not going to have anything to eat for like quite a while. So why do they feel the need to go inside a fucking house and then just camp in the corner? They're camping, bro. And not one insect is going to pass by, because if anything like flies end up going to the fucking windows. I don't know, man. I guess they think that they're going to get something to eat, but doubt it.
Which naturally attract flying insects like moths and mosquitoes.
Okay, that one I can...
Because of their
see.
remarkable adaptability, spiders remain some of the most abundant and influential predators of all time. Key innovations, including web building and venom specialization, have allowed spiders to exploit countless ecological niches. Some spider populations may be declining, but if evolutionary history has taught us anything, It's that spiders are extraordinarily resilient.
Oh, it's so creepy. Those like spider nests.
If you want to build.
Also like spider nests when they're like giving out birth, I guess. They just lay a bunch of eggs. Most of the spiders do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them lay eggs. But like they lay so many that when they're born, they're just like a bunch of like, little ones just crawling around. Just so fucking creepy. I don't like it. I don't like spiders at all, man. But some people find them interesting, but they really are, because they're also like very, very much like needed for our ecosystems. Yeah, they're pretty much needed for ecosystems to exist, because birds eat, they eat bugs and whatever, or smaller things, and then other things just feed on birds and stuff like that. So you just like this whole system that goes like around for everything to work out perfectly for us to have animals. So they're pretty much needed. Even though I hate them, we need them. Do we have time for one video? Yeah, we do. Alright. Let's see what else we can watch. Watch that. Okay. This one's interesting. Short video.
Sheep weren't.
Nope. So we're going to be watching why some animals can't be domesticated by CGP Grey.
Always this fluffy. We fluffified them by breeding the fluffiest in each generation. This is domestication, sculpting wild animals for better human use. As we saw in part 1, for early man, animals were powerful tools: food, clothing, transportation, tractors. Yet though there were animals everywhere, only a handful were domesticated in the pre-modern world. What made these different? Let's make a domestication checklist, shall we? First up, feedable. A cow is a machine that turns grass into steaks, and a tiger a machine that turns steaks into tiger. 10 pounds of grass make a pound of steak, and 10 pounds of steak make a pound of tiger. But these have the same number of calories, so you might as well just eat the cow and save yourself a lot of work. So pure carnivores you're not going to domesticate just because of thermodynamics. You're looking for herbivores that aren't picky. They should eat something that's everywhere that you can't eat. Any omnivores better be happy eating whatever and better be super worth it. We are, however, putting the pig before the pen here, because first we need to catch something that's friendly. Okay, obviously catching a carnivore is a bad idea anyway, because their day job is murder, but plenty of omnivores like grizzlies moonlight in murder. No safety in...
Dude, I feel like, grizzly bears look so like friendly, and they're able to be domesticated in some way. There's some cases that they are able to be domesticated, but they have to be from birth. If you try to domesticate a wild bear when they're already like at their pretty much grown age, you're gonna get mauled. That's like a one-way ticket to the afterlife.
Vegetarians either. Buffalo are terrifying tanks for all the reasons mentioned before. Hippos hold the murder high score in Africa. Giraffes look real dorky until you consider their striking range. Lions mostly leave them alone. Animals it would be awesome to domesticate are not coincidentally super dangerous. War bears would be a hell of an advantage for your tribe, but it's not going to happen. And if it's big and not dangerous, it's a nervous wreck. Try sneaking up on a gazelle? Rhymes with LOL. Sure, you and a team of buddies could spend the whole day marathon jogging it down to exhaustion, but if it doesn't break its own neck as you try to drag it back home, then it's going to casually leap out of whatever pen you built for it. Okay, next up. Some animals have reproductive preferences that make them incompatible with captivity. Looking at you, pandas. The time and energy humans have spent to get pandas to...
Dude, pandas are so fucking useless. How are they still alive? They serve little to no purpose. They don't do fuck all day, and they just eat, and they can't even reproduce. They're pretty much useless. They need help reproducing. And I don't know how for thousands of years, probably billions, that they're still alive somehow. But I'll give it to them. They're pretty cute. Look at them.
Get on with it is comical. Hunter-gatherers need an animal so eager to breed it gets it wrong sometimes, not an animal whose mating seasons they have to keep careful track of. So friendly, feedable, and fecund, it also needs to grow up fast. This gets us to the heart of domestication versus taming. Again, to domesticate a species is to change it to make it better for us. And side note here, we domesticate plants as well. We've bred them to be monstrous versions of their wild selves. So when hippies talk about going back to nature, they forget that these plants are just as man-made as this Pop-Tart. Anyway, back to the animals. The pig porkification project succeeded because pig generations are shorter than human generations. A single clever human can make porky progress in their lifetime. Compare and contrast elephants. 2 years to make a calf, 5 years in between calves, 9 years until female maturity, 15 years for males. You've got to be kidding, elephants. There's no time for this. But humans can still tame elephants. You can catch an elephant and train it not to freak out around humans, then put it to work. But elephant domestication would require accurate records over several human lives. Never mind that keeping 1 or 2 tamed elephants around is incredibly costly, which is why war elephants only happened on occasion in already complex societies. Tame elephants are a luxury, hence this rule of thumb. If it's on a farm, it's domesticated. If it's in a circus, it's tame. Finally, families. Okay, zebra versus horses. Horses are civilization game changers. It's remarkable to think that from thousands BC until the telegraph, a dude on a horse was the best internet available. Horses were domesticated in Eurasia, but humans started in Africa, which has zebra. Why didn't the first humans ride out of Africa on the backs of zebra to conquer the world? Because zebra are bastards. They live to kick and bite, dangerous in a pre-penicillin world, and zebra also have a ducking reflex, making them very frustrating to lasso. In addition to being a real pain in the ass animal, zebra lack a family structure. Horse herds hierarchy. You can see it when they travel in a line. The male, top female, her foals, second female, her foals, and so on. Humans, by capturing and taming the lead male, become head horse. Lots of barnyard animals are barnyard animals because they have family values humans exploit. They just grow up with the idea that this human is a funny sort of take-charge cow or whatever. No big deal. Chickens will peck, peck, peck until they've worked out who's top chicken. But you know who's really top chicken? We're top chicken. Dogs and cats, this is what makes them different. Dogs will love you and defend you and hunt with you because you're part of the pack. Dogs live to be useful to us, which in the modern world means falling over to play dead, but they love it.
Dude, I don't know how these type of dogs, I don't know how they're able to have evolved all the way to the modern era. They make no sense how they survived. If I go back, right?
Be useful to us, which in the modern...
How the fuck did this dog hunt? Tell me, how the fuck did this dog make it a million years till today? Hello, Aaliyah, how we doing?
World means falling over to play dead, but they love it.
Bang. Good girl, good girl.
Oh. Sorry.
Whereas a cat is a tiny tiger that...
Good girl, good girl.
Whereas a cat is a tiny tiger that lives in your house. Okay, back to these guys. For zebra, there's no such thing as society. They hang out in groups because it's a good survival strategy, but they don't really care. Catch a zebra and his family won't follow. Try to ride him and you'll be lucky to keep your fingers. Zebra look like horses on the outside, but not on the inside. So that's the checklist. Friendly, feedable, fecund, family friendly. It's not a long checklist, but for hunter-gatherers, any animal they wanted to domesticate needed everything, which is why in early human history only a baker's dozen of big animals were domesticated the world over.
Alright, that makes sense. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Alright, that was a pretty interesting video. I find it crazy that there's some animals that have made it this far. Like pigs. I don't know how they survived all the way up to modern era, but it's kind of interesting to see that they have actually made it. Because some are just useless. Like the panda, I don't know how it made it all the way to modern era. I don't think they should have at all. I think they should have been extinct quite a while ago because they're just hard to keep up with. And they're only pretty sure they're only fertile a few weeks of the year. So only a few goddamn, I can't speak. So only a few weeks out of the year they can get pregnant. The other much of the year, the female's pretty much just there to keep company and just eat bamboo. But yeah. Alright. So that has been it for today. Just because I I got some things to do and schoolwork to do. So yeah, we're gonna end the stream there. And yeah, thank you, Asalia, for coming by. Probably be back tomorrow. Honestly, it's Labor Day, so they're gonna have the day off. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.